Hello and welcome to 2011 Media Day here from Norfolk, Virginia in the Norfolk Waterside Marriott. With us is, as always, is Coach Pete Adrian, the head coach of Norfolk State University. Coach, first of all, big year for you, big year for your team. It seems like after the spring, a lot of momentum picked up, and it seemed like after the recruiting class, you had a good segue to the summer practices.
Well, yeah, I mean, our kids have always worked really hard, and it's continued throughout, and they're excited about what's coming up. And, we have a veteran team coming back, particularly on defense, and we're actually too deep across the board, and the guys are excited about that, so that's a pretty good situation to be in.
Coach, let's talk first about the predicted order of finish. Finished fifth behind South Carolina State, Bethune-Cookman, Hampton, and Florida A&M. Those were the teams that fought for the championship last year. Talk a little bit about the predicted order of finish and how you feel about where your team is picked to start the season.
Well, I think being fifth out of 11 teams is okay. It kind of puts you right there, which, I like to say I think makes us very dangerous. And, that's going to kind of be like our theme a little bit because we got a chance to, I think, do some damage, and we'll see what happens.
Coach, I think one of the big things that you look at this year is the separation of divisions and the fact that you don't play everyone like you used to in years past. Talk a little bit about this year's schedule and how this conference schedule for you really is going to be big in the fact that you get some of the big games at home.
Well, yeah, of course, in the MEAC, every week's a fight, but to have South Carolina State at home and Bethune-Cookman at home and Hampton at home and A&T, those are always hostile places to play at, so it's nice to have them at home, and I think that certainly helps you get some momentum going if you can come into those games with a good record.
I think one thing that we've looked at with you, Coach Adrian, at Norfolk State has been the ability to keep staff members, and this year you have a couple changes, not key changes, but a new offensive coordinator, but he was there last year. Talk a little bit about some of the new additions to your staff.
Well, really, it's just two guys on offense. Coach Joe was with us last year, and took over towards the end of the year like that, and we've continued to do the same thing. And then we hired Fegans in, also from South Carolina State, as receiver coach, and he's done a great job. He's an excellent football coach, and we're very fortunate to have him with us.
I think one thing, if you look from last year's team to this year's team, Coach, one of the themes would have been youth. Growing up on the offensive side of the football, and this year the offense should be a little bit more experienced, and a couple of key positions on defense is where you'll see a little bit of changes. You lose both cornerbacks, but you have some guys coming back and some guys who have played, but guys who haven't started and played on most of the games.
Well, I agree and disagree a little bit. First of all, the defense, believe it or not, we could go out and play today if we had to. Those kids are knowing what we're doing and smart like that. And the fact that we've played so many kids on defense, they've all been in critical situations. So with Nat Turner-Harris at the corner, Marcus Center at the corner, and of course Marcus Cooperwood back, who played for us for 2 years before at corner, and then Nick Taylor had a good spring at corner, and then of course we redshirted Deontay Sullivan. So there's a lot of people there that our safety play, both Reynolds and Ricardo got much better. And got a lot of game experience and playing solid. And then the two young freshman redshirts, and Keenan and Darren Cox, I think. But Darren Morrow from Cox. I got it backwards. But anyhow, they both played really well in the spring, which just gives us more depth right there. I think our offense, they just need more experience. Now, for an example, we struggled last year at receiver early because they were redshirt freshman kids or kids playing for the first time. And when you depend on a lot of that, you have problems. And they got better as the year went on, okay? And they got better through spring practice. I think our offensive line is probably our biggest question mark. We got Kendall and Kay back inside that will help us, but the other three guys will need a little time. They're older kids. They're able to play, but, until you're out playing in front of 30,000 or 20,000 or whatever to find out how they're going to react, that's going to be a key thing. And I think they'll be okay, but I'm going to put a lot of pressure on our defense, saying that we got to hold us in the games and get good field position for our offense just to make them better. And of course, when your strongest position on your offensive team is your quarterback position, that's not a bad thing.
And you talked about that with Chris Wally coming back this year and adding Nico Flores, a dual threat at quarterback. You looked at the way Wally finished the season last year, and only good things to say. He threw the ball to the right spots. He handed the ball off, made the correct plays at the line of scrimmage, and then you add somebody who can run the football as well as Nico, you have to be pleased with that.
Oh, yeah, and it's going to be the first time since I've been here where we actually have 2 true quarterbacks. And, of course, we did a nice job in recruiting and have the Riddick kid coming in from Richmond and who's going to be a player. And we still have Dexter Merritt, who's still with us as a fifth-year senior. But, I mean, that's really a solid position. And, of course, you'll see 2 quarterbacks playing throughout the ball game. And I think our receiving core got much better in the spring. You could tell that they did some plays and moving Joe Hawkins into tight end instead of wide receiver is going to help us there with a lot more athletic ability with him and Joe Holbrook. So, we're going to be okay.
And, Coach, you look at you mentioned the playing in front of 30,000 and 20,000 fans, and you start off, and we should have that with the first 2 football games we played with Virginia State coming in, rehashing the battle or the Labor Day Classic to start off, and then West Virginia on the road. It should be a good test of a D2 team and a Division I team before you even get to a FCS opponent.
Right, and I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, to be able to play at home, and again, Virginia State played us pretty well last year. I know we beat them 51 or something to 28, but they played a pretty solid football game and kept it interesting. And then going to West Virginia, defending Big East champions, in front of 60,000 wild, crazy fans, and I can tell you from experience, having played there, the next week when we go to Howard, the fans won't make any difference after that. But the thing it will do, it'll really help our guys, particularly in the offensive line, grow up because they're going to be put in really a tough situation. If we come out of that okay, that's going to make us better for that following week.
You never like to make predictions, Coach, but it does seem like coming back with a championship caliber defense and a young offense to start off before you get into the meat of your conference play, that this should be a very good football team for you.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I've been saying people want to know the theme of the team, and I say dangerous. We have a chance to be very dangerous, and I really believe that because anytime you've got a solid defense, and then I think our kicking game is going to really be good. I put a lot of pressure on Everett Goldberg, but that kid can kick it out of here, and that's what we got to have. We got a kid that can kick off 70 yards, and I'll be happy if he only kicks it 60 because it'll be down to the 10 instead of the 35. But that makes a big difference on our defense and field position for our offense. And, of course, he's hit 57, 55-yard field goals. So with him and Ryan Estep, that makes our kicking game very solid. Of course, we got Troy back again to punt again, so that's going to be a very solid thing. And then a lot of the freshmen that we redshirted last year will really help us on our special teams this year because, we're able to play them. And that should make that team very athletic.
Thank you, Coach, for always stopping by. It's been a very busy summer for you, Coach. Grandpa now, and Grandpa now, another father-in-law now. It's been a very good summer for you.
Yeah, it's been no downtime. I'll be glad when I just go to practice.
So congratulations on all your success, and hopefully we'll have another big season here at Norfolk State University.
That's our plan.
That's Coach Pete Adrian, and we thank you for stopping by the 2011 Media Day.